So it's 8 o'clock, and this is the first of 3 meditations that we do on a Saturday morning. The first one that we're doing just now will be a body scan, body awareness meditation, which is really relaxing, or hopefully is really relaxing. The second meditation at 9 o'clock is following the breath, mindfulness of breathing, we call it. And then at 10 o'clock, the final meditation, which is a loving kindness meditation. And you can do all of them or a couple of them or just one of them, whatever you feel you need. So the body scan that we're going to do this morning is really just having a bit of a journey through our body and seeing what we can find. Excuse me. And the great thing about it is that it helps us relax. We spend so much time in our minds during the normal course of the day, and we tend to forget our body. And by coming into the body, we actually allow our minds to settle a little bit. It gives us something to do, exploring the body, and it allows the mind to just let go a little, and allows us to let go of the mind. So I think that's all I have to say, really. If thoughts arise, then as usual, just letting them go. And the main thing is to be relaxed. So you can do this lying on the bed, lying on the floor, sitting on a chair or on a cushion on the floor. And if you fall asleep during it, if you're in bed, you might do, and that's okay. It doesn't matter. Sometimes you can get so relaxed that you drop off. Okay, so we'll start, and I'm going to start with a poem. I'll just settle us in first. I'll just go through the usual steps of arriving, and then I'll read a poem, and then we'll go into the practice. Okay. So, how are we right now? Just bringing our attention within, maybe closing our eyes if we wish to. Bringing our attention to how we are. How are you feeling right now? Just taking stock. How are you mentally? And by that I mean, have you got a busy mind or a quiet mind or something in between? And whatever the state of your mind in terms of busyness, that's okay. We're not trying to change that. That's where we're starting from. So how are you now emotionally? You might be feeling quite happy, or a bit sad, irritated, a bit upset, confused, bored, all sorts of different tones in your emotions. They can be pleasant or unpleasant or neutral. And whatever they are, just allowing them to be as they are. We can't force change, and we're not even trying to. And how are you physically? What are the main sensations in your body. If you have strong emotions, then there will probably be some strong feelings in the body. The Buddha called these strong feelings, these feeling tones, Vedana. And he said, all the feelings that we get in the body, all the sensations, can only be one of three things: pleasant or unpleasant or neutral. And he advised us to just stay with them, not try and push away the unpleasant sensations, not to try and hang on to the pleasant sensations, just to stay with them with a sense of kindness and a knowing that they will change. So doing just that with any sensations in the body. Noticing the weight of your body, sitting on the chair, cushion, lying on the bed or floor. And just allowing whatever you're sitting or lying on to take your weight. Just letting go of the weight of your body, giving it up. And bringing your attention up now to the shoulders. Noticing the rising and falling of the shoulders. Rising on the in-breath, dropping slightly on the out-breath. And on each out-breath, as the shoulders drop, allowing any tension to drop away through the body. Letting go on each out-breath. And then letting go again on the next. And again on the next. Allowing any tightness and tensions to drop away down through the body and ultimately into the earth. And I'm going to read a poem by Pablo Neruda called Keeping Quiet. Now we will count to 12, and we will all keep still. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. It would be an exotic moment without rush, without engines. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hands. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victories with no survivors, would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shade, doing nothing. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is about. I want no truck with death. If we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving, and for once could do nothing, perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves, and of threatening ourselves with death. Perhaps the earth can teach us, as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Now I'll count up to 12, and you keep quiet, and I will go. So we're just going to stay at the shoulders for the moment. Just noticing any remaining tension there. Any achiness, any tightness. In the shoulders or the lower neck. It might be subtle or it might be gross. But if you find anything there, not trying to push it away as we would normally do, just turning towards it with a sense of loving kindness. Just relaxing and breathing into it a cloud of love. Our bodies take us through so much in our lives. So whenever we find pain and ache and tightness, it's good to give it love. Any love that we can give will help the body relax. Moving up the back of the head now. You can maybe feel the skin stretched over the scalp. And if you can't, because it's quite subtle, then just keeping an openness that if you keep looking, you might. The crown of the head. Very, very subtle sensations. And don't worry if you can't find any of these sensations that I mentioned. It doesn't matter. Moving further across the scalp down to the forehead. Are you frowning? I guess you probably are. I am. We do this all the time. We hold our foreheads quite tightly. So just letting the forehead relax, letting the creases out, just lightening the sense of the forehead, softening the forehead. How does that feel? Does that feel better? And let's do the same with the face. We hold our faces in a particular way as we face the world. So we're not being seen at the moment. So just let the skin sag. Let the muscles drop and relax. Let the whole of the face soften. Eyes resting softly behind the eyelids. You can let your jaw drop slightly. Tongue resting in the mouth. And the breath just naturally coming and going through the nose or the mouth. Moving on down through the throat. How does that feel? And then back to the shoulders. Just noticing how the shoulders are again. Any tightness, just allowing it to be there with a sense of kindness. And we're going to move on down the arms now. Down the upper arms. What can you feel there? A subtle sense of aliveness, perhaps. Tingling. The elbows. Difficult to feel much in the elbows, but you might just get a sense that they're there. The lower arm. You might feel the air brushing the lower arm or the upper arm. Just a sense of warmth or coldness. And the wrist. Just really move in on the wrist. If you look very carefully, you might be able to feel your pulse. Pumping the blood around the body, the heart pumping the blood around the body, keeping us alive, keeping us well, protecting us. The engine of the body always working. Moving down to the hands, the back of the hands. Can you feel tingling, quite strong tingling? Maybe feel the warmth or coldness of the air. And the palms of the hands, again, more tingling. Maybe other things as well. What else is there? Can you feel warmth? Maybe even dampness. And moving down the fingertips. Really sensitive areas full of energy. Can you feel that? Can you feel this tingling energy? Moving back up to the shoulders. And we're going to go down the back of the body now. The upper part of the torso. Behind the lungs. Constantly rising and falling. Opening and closing. Expanding and contracting. Can you feel that as you breathe? And also at the sides of the upper torso, the back of the body constantly moving. Moving down the back to the small of the back, and just taking in any aches on the way. And if the back aches slightly, maybe you can adjust your posture to help it. If you can't, then just turning towards the discomfort and bathing it in the sunshine of your loving kindness. Warming any discomfort, bathing it in kindness. We're moving to the hips now, big bony structures, which we don't often notice when they're okay, which we do notice when they're hurting us. Can you feel into the hips? If you can't, that's okay. And the sitting bones beneath the hips, supporting you on your chair, cushion, bed. And around them, the fatty tissue of your bottom. Just this lovely protected padding that keeps us comfortable when we sit down. You may or you may not like your bum, but it's just part of you. So a sense of kindness to the parts of our bodies we don't like is always good. We rely on our bodies so much. They take us through our lives. So it's good to have a sense of gratitude. We may not be perfect. We may wish that we were different. But can we just have a sense of love and acceptance to our bodies? And moving down the back of the legs now. The big muscles at the top of the leg, the hamstrings. Probably quite relaxed at the moment. And the lower leg, the calf muscles, big bunch of muscles. Can you feel them? Again, if you can't, it doesn't matter. Just staying open to feeling a lot more of sensations in the body than you can. The body is rich in all sorts of sensations. Down past the ankle to the heel and round to the sole of the foot. And the sole of the foot is full of energy, just like the hands. Lots of nerve endings. Can you feel that? Can you feel that energy vibrating in the sole of the foot? A warmth and aliveness. And moving to the toes. What can you feel in the toes? Can you feel your big toe? How about all the other toes? They're much more difficult. But you might be able to feel them. Give them a wiggle. And moving up to the upper foot. What can you feel there? You might feel clothing up against the skin. Or if you have bare feet, maybe the air brushing the skin. Or what else? Moving up the front of the leg now, the shin bone, the bony bit of the body. Can you feel anything there? Maybe you can feel contact with clothing or the air. And the knees. Knees, complex systems, bony, gristle. Can you feel anything in the knees? And moving to the top of the legs, the quadriceps, the big muscles at the top of the legs. What can you feel there? They may feel slightly stretched if you're sitting on a chair or kneeling. Moving to the belly. The belly is a place where we have very strong sensations sometimes. It's the place where we often feel a churning or a heaviness or a lightness. And we might identify these things as worry, anxiety, excitement, disappointment. But they're the emotions that our mind produces in response to these physical feelings. So the feelings themselves are just sensations. And if we can be with these sensations, whether they're pleasant or unpleasant, if we can just be with them with a sense of acceptance and kindness, then the mind is more relaxed about them. The mind doesn't label them quite so easily. The mind doesn't turn them into stories. So whatever feelings, whatever sensations we can find in our belly, the bare physical sensations, whether they're pleasant or unpleasant or neutral, just being with them as they are. Breathing a cloud of kindness over them, warming them with the sunshine of our love. Moving up to the abdomen, and the same thing applies here. Just noticing what the bare feelings are like. And just being with those feelings, those sensations with a sense of kindness, not allowing the mind to turn them into a story. And moving up to the chest, rising and falling still with the breath. The lungs expanding on each in-breath, pushing the rib cage outward, expanding the chest. And then letting the breath out and everything contracting. What are the sensations in the chest? Does the chest feel open and free? Or slightly tight and closed? If there is a tightness, again, this can be something we do when we get stressed or upset. Just being with that tightness, with a real sense of ease and kindness, allowing it to soften. Beaming the warmth of our loving kindness onto any discomfort. Not trying to push any discomfort away, just being a friend to it. And now we're going to take in the whole of the body, the whole of our living being. A body that's so familiar to us that we often don't think about it. Just really noticing it now with a sense of gratitude for all that our body does for us. It may not be perfect. It may go wrong. But it's what takes us through our lives. Our body does its best for us. to ring the bell in a few moments to bring the meditation to a close. And when I do, just taking your time, moving your body gently, opening your eyes. There's no rush, no hurry.